That's beautiful. Sorry?
Actually, you are right now staying. Can you explain a little bit about the house where you are right now?
Yes. So I invite Yulia many times. So now it's the time that she has to come. She has to come here with kimonos. We have to do something with kimono here.
Can you explain a little bit about the house where you are right now?
Yes. Yes. Can you hear me? I invite Yulia many times. So now it's the time that she has to come. She has to come here with kimonos. We have to do something with kimono here.
Can you explain a little bit about the house where you are right now?
Yes. Yes. Can you hear me? I invite Yulia many times. So now it's the time that she has to come. She has to come here with kimonos. We have to do something with kimono here. Yes, yes. If I say something, can you hear me?
Yeah, actually,
Now you can hear me.
we are saying speaker to volume 0, so we can't hear you well.
It's better now?
Sorry.
No, don't. Yes, I was speaking, I was saying the same thing. So, I'm in Italy, in an island in front of Tuscany. And so 8 years ago, I bought a lighthouse. I think you have the picture.
From the Instagram, this one?
Yes. So it's an old lighthouse. And I had the chance to buy it in an auction, and so I was so lucky. And it's in the middle of nowhere, so the location it's really strange, and it's up in a mountain, so it's not so close to the sea. So it's like 5 minutes by car, but it's in a pine wood, so it's really beautiful. And the structure, it's really old, so that's why it's really powerful. It was built in 1830, something like this. So it's really massive and really high. And so the view is really beautiful. You can see all the island around, really beautiful. So I hope that Yulia will come soon.
So this island is close to Tuscany?
Yes, it's an island of Tuscany. So it's in front of Tuscany. And in Tuscany, we had a lot of islands, like 6 islands in front of Tuscany. And that's one, it's a small island. It's pretty close to the ground. It's not so far. It's like 1 hour boat. So it's not really far. But it's really beautiful because the island is not very known. So there's tourism at just 2 or 3 months per year. And then, for example, in the winter, it's beautiful. And in spring, it's amazing. So, and now I'm here because the lockdown. So I came here because I have to plant all my garden, because I had to start to plant it. And so the lockdown starts. So basically everybody escape and go home. So I had the plants. So I plant by myself for 15 days. I plant. More than 2,000 plants.
Wow.
My hands are destroyed, but it's beautiful.
So that's how have you been doing after the lockdown?
Yes. Planting, gardening. I really love plants. Even in the Hotel Vivier in Tokyo was a room about bonsai. Really beautiful.
How about you, Yulia? How have you been spending your time after the lockdown?
I've been like staying at my house and like reading books and watching old movies. I really enjoy it actually.
Actually, I saw you doing DJ, you know,
Oh,
Instagram.
yeah. Every Saturday night I DJ and for like Instagram, right? And people really enjoy it, so I'm really happy about it.
I found that last night was the last DJ.
Yeah.
How you decided to stop it?
Because like I said I do this Instagram live only for like during lockdown. So I guess like it's gonna finish next week or something. So like maybe it's gonna be the last time.
So in Tokyo, the lockdown will finish maybe around tomorrow. But how is it in Italy?
Sorry, the lockdown?
Lockdown in Tokyo will perhaps end, very likely to end, you know, tomorrow. But
in Italy now it's better because we can move without a permission, because since last week we need a permission of work, of really important things to do, because if not you had to stay at home. Because in Italy the lockdown it's mandatory. It's you cannot decide if you want to stay home or not. So basically you had to. But now it's reopened. So since Monday we can move around freely, of course with the mask, with the gloves, and not too close people, you know, stuff like this. But restaurant reopen with distances, but you can move just in the same region, not to go out of your region if you don't have a work things to do or something mandatory. You can, but now it's better. I hope it's, you know, when I suppose that when we reopen, there's the risk that the contamination go up again. So we are in the moment that now it's reopening. I hope, because it's really hot and people now know how to manage the virus. So I hope it's not gonna increase again, but let's see. Now it's better. It's better.
So what have you been thinking after the lockdown happened? And, you know, do you think you will go back to the way you were before the COVID-19? Or, I mean, I think you have, as a fashion designer, you have a very different value from many other fashion designers, respecting the old tradition, etc.
Yeah.
Can you actually explain us, you know, what you value the most as a fashion designer?
I think that in general, in architecture, in shoe designing, in art, to invent something from zero, it's really hard, and it's happened every 100 years. It means no, it's not happening every day. So today everything it's really fast, no, with social media, blah blah blah, and I think that the inspiration that we can take from the past, it's really important. Personally, I really like past. I'm not just attached to the past, because I think that when you see something from the past, the only way to make something, let's say, old, interesting, is to contaminate it. That's a key, that it's really easy in a way, but you have to know how to contaminate in the right way. That's the important things. And of course, for example, when I see Yulia with kimono, which is an old historical things, but she's wearing when she DJing, when with the hair, so that's a contamination. That's why it looks beautiful and interesting today. And I think that this lockdown, in a way, I really like it, because I had the chance to stay alone, to think about things. And then I was really lucky, because my house is in the countryside. So basically, I was not locked in an apartment, but I have the chance to stay outside by myself, but outside, which is make a big difference. But I think that a lesson that we can learn about this lockdown, that we can also live and enjoy with the things that we have. So I think that rediscover something, especially in architecture, that it's a little bit forget, because in the last year we was building new buildings. I think it's really interesting because it's a really beautiful point of view to take place that somebody forget and to make attention on this place. For example, this beautiful house, it's an example. It's beautiful. Luckily, it's untouched. So, because it's really rare to find buildings that are not destroyed, changed, you know, and that's make things precious, I think. That's and I think now that we cannot construct a lot, I think, in the next few months, in the next few years, because of course the crisis, the money is down, blah, blah, blah. Probably it's the chance, is the good moment, is the right chance to revalue buildings that are here, that are in Tokyo or in America or everywhere in the world, and just to see this kind of old building in the right way, with another point of view. I think that's why when they asked me to participate at this event, I was really curious, because it's something that of course that I like in general, old buildings and stuff like this. But now I think there's another value of this for everyone.
How about you?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like I was thinking kind of same thing, and like past, like looking, I don't know how to say, but like until
Before the COVID?
Yeah, before the COVID, we've been like
Mass production?
Yeah, mass production, like
We've been producing too much.
too much for everything, like for the building, and also like fashion as well. And like we've been like producing so much stuff, and like the value of that production is maybe not really important. Like
underestimated.
The most important thing is like producing and sell. So like
It was this cycle.
and like and also as a lifestyle, we've been like busy every day, and like we never stop and think about like what is important for us. So like it's really good to stop and think about like what's
Yes.
important.
I totally agree with her, because in architecture it's slower, the process, but it's the same. In fashion, the process is really fast, and now we have the chance to stop a little bit and think about what we are doing. That's why I feel very lucky, because working for Roger Vivier, which is not a big house, it means that everything is really qualitative. We try to make everything we said in fashion carry over. We use this kind of word just to make things consistent, and not just to buy now and throw it away after 3 months. That's something that's really in the DNA of Roger Vivier. That's why I'm really lucky, because I'm really I realized that in this moment we had a lot of beautiful things in the store that I create just to remain there for years. So basically we don't need to sell it today because we have to do it another one, but they are really precious, handmade, and the process to do the shoes, it's really slow, but in the right way. So especially now, it's crazy how it looks normal, you know, compared to other brands that run really, really, really fast. And I think that's what Julia said, to stop and think about what we have and what we need. It's something that in this, of course, it's a pandemia, which is really bad for many people and economy. But if we see the beautiful side, let's say, the good side of this, especially for young generation that are really, I'm a little bit in between, because now I'm 40. So basically I'm in between. I had a part of my life was without iPhone and stuff like this, but now it's more than 20 years that it's another world, no? So I can live between, which is not bad. But I think that especially for young generation to stop and think, it's a good chance. It's something that we can easily turn this bad experience, we can easily turn in a good way, which is not bad, actually. Everybody can think about, which is something important.
Since you mentioned the DNA of Roger Vivier, can you elaborate a little bit on that? Like,
yes.
Over here.
Basically, I'm smoking. So.
We love your
As long as it's
smoking.
legal.
Roger Vivier, it's for example, I explain Vivier from my point of view. I grew up as a shoe designer. My parents have a shoe factory since 1958. So I grew up around shoes and shoemaking and stuff like this. So one of my dreams was to work one day for Roger Vivier, because for a shoe designer, for example, from a shoe designer point of view, it's one of the most beautiful brands, because Roger Vivier himself was a genius. He invented a lot of things. He changed fashion. He changed the silhouette of women. So for me, it was a great honor. So when the proposal arrived, I was really happy. And I say, okay, no matter what, I want to sign the contract and I want to start, because it's something really dreamy. So, and I think that if I look this from a customer point of view, I think it's the same things in a way, because Roger Vivier, it's one of the probably the only brand that is linked with fashion, the only shoe brand, because we are doing shoe and bag, but it's really linked with fashion, because Roger Vivier himself was working with Christian Dior, Saint Laurent. So in the golden area of fashion in Paris, he was really working on couture and in défilé, in show. So it's really particular. It's not a normal shoe brand, like, and the world is full of shoe brand, beautiful, not beautiful, but it's full. But Roger Vivier, it's different. That's something really precious that I really like of Roger Vivier, and I try to evolve and always remind to people, to new generation, because they don't know, that it's a really special brand. It's luxury, but at the same time, it's fashion, which is really rare. So, of course, he invented the buckle for Catherine Deneuve in Belle du Jour. So the famous shoes with the buckle. You have one, I think, there, which is a masterpiece. So I play with this buckle and I reinvent it for today. Voila. That's one of the, when I was young and I was looking at Belle du Jour movie, I was obsessed by these shoes that Catherine Deneuve was wearing. So it's something iconic, you know, and not a lot of brands have this, you know, on shoes, which is beautiful.
Right. When I went to Paris, like the first time, I saw Deneuve at the fashion show, and she was wearing this.
Yes,
But
indeed, yeah.
I was really surprised.
The original one or the new?
I don't know, but
But I
I
think the new.
I
one-
recognized the back. And I
Yes, yes,
today.
yes.
You-
Because you know the younger version. But you know what? That when I met Catherine Deneuve, the first one was at the presentation as Julia. I had the chance to meet her, and then we turned a short movie from Christmas. You remember Julia, the one with the I was playing fake piano, and she was wearing this, and after the movie she asked me, may I bring the shoes with me? So it means that she liked it.
Yeah.
Can you also tell us a little bit about this piece right here? I had the original was the one that won by the Queen Elizabeth.
Yes, yes, that's the Queen sandal, because you know another thing that Roger Vivier was really eclectic in a way, because was dressing up Catherine Deneuve, Marlene Dietrich, Brigitte Bardot, but also Queen Elizabeth. So, and that's something really strange, because this sandal was made for the coronation of the Queen, and the coronation was in the 50s, and usually the royal family was wearing clothes and shoes made especially for them, but in England. So that's really strange and innovative, because basically Queen Elizabeth was coronated with the French sandal in her foot. So was really strange in a way. So that's why I love to say that Roger Vivier changed many things in the history of fashion, of course.
But it's very interesting and unique as a fashion designer to work for a house which has such a long history, and bringing the old model with respect. And I think you have the same kind of respect for the tradition and history of our culture. Yulia told me that you and Yulia has made a trip to Kyoto and see
Yes.
craftsman work. How did you find the trip?
I was really, Yulia remember, I was amazed. I was really happy. Unfortunately, we had not so much time, because Kyoto, I think it's a really interesting city. I think there's so many other things to see, so I will be back. But I was so lucky, because I have the chance to visit Kyoto with Yulia, which is not bad, because I'm from Europe. So alone in Kyoto was like, you can feel half of the magic of the city. So I was so lucky to be with Yulia. And Kyoto is really beautiful. It was my first time, because I went in Tokyo. I've been in Tokyo many times, but really short trip too, but many times. So I don't know really well Tokyo, but I know Tokyo. It means that I know where I am, I know people, I know things. But Kyoto was completely new. So and Kyoto, it's not well known around the world as Tokyo. So everything was really unexpected. And it's a really beautiful city. It's really beautiful. But next time we have to go to antiques, we have to go to bonsai, we have to do many things.
Yeah.
It's not that.
We should.
Yes, you have to make a list.
The antique market review.
Yeah.
But where did you take Gerardo last time?
In Kyoto.
Yeah.
We went some
We basically went around the craftsmanship
Yeah.
in Kyoto.
Yeah.
So visiting all the
So-
craftsmen?
yeah.
Yeah, visiting all the different craftsmen, one for embroidery,
Yeah.
the other for tea can, like storage
Oh,
can,
yeah.
all handmade. And the traditional Japanese footwear,
Rolling.
Zori making.
Amazing. Amazing. It was really beautiful.
Very, very beautiful. And Yuya basically connected us to all these very precious relationships, and we really enjoyed it, visiting all of them. And also the Nisijin textile maker, Koso-san, like they all have like hundreds of years of history, and all the guys are like, I don't know, 15th generations or something, like, you know, like unimaginable. So it was very, very beautiful. Probably the viewers are just like hearing my voice, and it's like weird. This like, hi. That's it, from Roger BBA.
No, the Kyoto trip was really beautiful. One of the things that I was really surprised when Atsuko, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we was to the embroidery house, they told me that they prepare artisan people for how long? Really
Years.
Years, yes. Without doing embroidery, just to practice.
Yeah.
And that's something that really impressed me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Impressed me so much, because it's something that nowhere in the world, not in Europe, nobody do this, you know? And that's a really obsessive and beautiful things to go on with tradition. No, they can't touch an embroidery since 3 years of preparation. It's amazing.
応用を身につけるのを2年間使って、でその間には刺繍しないんです。
その間しかもただ2年間なんかそう置いとくだけじゃなくて、その間にいろんな習い事をさせてもらって、お茶の稽古とか、着物とか。
Yeah, the artisans they go basically study Japanese traditional history, tea ceremony, like kabuki, kimono, and like after studying for a good 2 years of time, they finally are allowed to touch the needle and the thread and start working on it. And they are paid while they basically study as a apprentice. So that was, I mean, he was impressed, but we are impressed too.
Yeah, but like the owner said, like why they should do that. I was asking him, and he said like because you need to understand Japanese culture and like history before you make the embroidery, and like because like they do embroidery for the like Japanese traditional festival, and like they are really connected with Japanese traditional culture.
But it's not our daily lives anymore. That's why it's
So that's but it's really the polar opposite of all those mass production system platform that everyone was kind of being overwhelmed with before COVID-19. So
how about in Italy? I mean, we see Italy and France also have this many artisan and craftsmanship. But how are they still keeping their tradition and cultural heritage?
Yes, I think that in Italy, it's really important. It means that practically all luxury fashion items are made in Italy. So it's really important. And I come from a family of artisans, but compared to Kyoto reality, it's different because it's artisan, but it's industrial at the same time. It means that they can do big quantity, In Kyoto was amazing because it was something really, to do an embroidery, it takes months, years. So it's practically for us unbelievable. It's really beautiful. But I know that now with CODIV emergency and there's more artisan, because Italy is full of small artisan factory. It's a big problem because everybody have to stop for almost 3 months. So it's really hard to go on. And I hope, that's why I hope that everything is finishing soon, because if not, we're gonna lost a lot of artisan. But one of the most beautiful things of Italian production is that this artisan boutique, let's say, store, factory, and little house that familiar in the industrial reality are really important. And I always mention this because for us that we are designers, we don't do things. We just imagine things, we draw something, but we need artisan to do it, because if we lose artisan, we can't do fashion anymore. We can't do many things. But for my side, I realized that when you have the right artisan that supports you, the shoes or the bag that you draw, it's always better and easier to do it, because if you don't have this, everything is dead. I'm really fan of promoting artisan and reality that can do things, because sometimes then the reality is too big and you have to do many quantity and many production. You cannot do certain things. You are locked. It means that you can't do, and now in Italy it's possible to do almost everything, which is really beautiful. Because if you lose this, half of the thing that you imagine, you can't do it. So it's really important to have artisan. And of course the quality it's important, because we were speaking before about this coronavirus point of view, and to have consistent things that you don't throw it away after 3 weeks, you need something well done, which is really important, the quality. And people, and in Italy, we really care about how people work, which is important too, And so when you buy something made in Italy, you know that it's quality, it's luxury, but at the same time, people live in a quality way of living, which is good, because if not,
Well, when we talk about some of the examples you saw in Kyoto was a top example, good example. But if we look at like Japanese traditional kimono, which Yuria is very familiar with, the industry is dying actually slowly. And what is hearing what Geraldo said, what do you think we can do to keep this, preserve this kimono culture? The next part of kimono.
Well, like I guess like for young people, like my generation, they don't really know about kimono. They like some of them like they only wear kimono once in their lifetime. Yeah.
For graduation?
Yeah, for graduation or like the age coming of age ceremony or something. And so they don't really know about it, and they don't like you, some people haven't seen real kimono. So, but like for me, kimono is like our like Japanese costume, but also it's the clothes and it's still alive. So like for me, it's the kimono is one of the choice of my wardrobe. So like I hope lots of people, kimono will be like one of the choice of their like wardrobe or something. But like they don't know how to wear, and also like some people are really strict about how to wear kimono or something. So like if you wear it wrong way, some people say like, oh, that's wrong or something. And some young people said that's why they don't want to wear or something. So
They're afraid to go wrong.
yeah, they really afraid. But maybe like we, like young people have kind of like a distance with kimono.
Yeah.
It's like really like,
They don't find it accessible.
yeah. But like their mother or their grandmother have kimono, so maybe they can try to wear their kimono as a start.
Yeah, as a starter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, but like these days I post lots of pictures of I wear kimono and like lots of people said that's beautiful or like I want to try to wear.
To familiarize, so young people can familiarize.
Yeah.
Very-
Yeah.
very-
But like whenever she posts something of herself wearing kimono, the reaction on the Instagram is enormous. A lot of comments come, a lot of question comes in.
So they are very
there
curious.
is
Yeah,
an
they're
interest.
curious.
There is an interest, but like she was saying,
Yeah,
they
like-
don't find it accessible. They don't know where to start.
Yeah, I noticed like actually lots of young people wants to wear kimono, but they don't know how and they don't know where they should learn about it. So I was thinking to start kimono class, kitsuke class, because my mom is a teacher of kimono kitsuke, so I'm gonna start kitsuke class.
Kitsuke is like kimono dressing.
Yeah, kimono dressing.
She post a really nice video where she show how to wear kimono fast forwarded, and I reposted because I never saw how to wear a kimono. She have a post in Instagram where she show how to wear a kimono, which is really beautiful.
Yeah.
But you are in Japan, did you have a chance to try on kimono?
No, I don't know how. I don't know how to wear it.
That's only
Next time I would love to wear a kimono. What's the name of the for men? The name is kimono? No, it's another name. Kimono. Okay. So next time I want to wear a kimono.
Hi.
So Atsuko just told us in Italy, the culture of the opera is slowly, I think it's not a good word, but it's not that popular anymore.
Yeah, I just remember that like when we talk about kimono, like you mentioned the situation
With
of
opera?
Italian opera is facing.
Yes.
You know, the city of Italy, you used to have the theater everywhere, but it's like kind of not disappearing, but it's kind of in a similar situation as kimono.
Yeah. Because also in Italy we have a longer tradition of costume, and I'm a fan of opera. I'm a tenor. I can sing opera.
You wanna say?
I just in Japan for Atsuko. And no, but I think that I always loved kimono, but I never knew exactly. I don't have culture about kimono. And with Julia, we went to Kimono Museum, an exposition, and I learned many things, but not enough, You always have to learn something because it's really a long tradition. So as every long tradition, there's a lot of meaning, in everything. meaning on fabric, meaning on embroidery, meaning on print, you know. And you'll explain me a little bit, no? The summer, the kimono that you wear in winter, the kimono that you wear at home, that you wear for the marriage. So, but it's amazing, you know. And it's the same time, and it's the same things in Europe or in Italy. We have a lot of tradition of costume that we don't use it anymore, but they are beautiful. But I think that the Japanese kimono are really interesting because it's the same clothes that go around century.
Yeah.
It's just one clothes. I say clothes, but just one clothes, one way of that go on century, which is really rare. Because, for example, in Italy, during the century, the costume, the dress change a lot. You know, there's the shirt, there's the skirt, there's the trousers, blah, blah, blah. It's really messy in a way. But the really special things about kimono, that's something that start from, I don't know where the first kimono was made. I don't know if there's a particular moment in history, but it's really far away, you know. And it's the same clothes that modify itself since today, which is really precious. It's really unique. And of course, they are beautiful because they are print, the fabric, everything is beautiful.
Yeah, that's right. The kimono shape doesn't change for a long time, even now. So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
They preserved like their like culture.
Concept.
Yeah.
So I think in Japan we are the COVID-19. We are getting out of the lockdown, and very soon Italy also will be. But do you think we can, we should just go ahead and go back to the way we lived like last year? Or do you think, how should we change our lifestyle or, the business model of the fashion to make?
I think that I really think about this in this practically more than 2 months now. And I think that everything changed on history and way of living every time, nothing is like before. Even in normal way of living, everything changed, faster or slower. It depends on the moment of history, what's happened around us. And I think that things never be the same in any case. So I think that Code was something really, especially for us in Easter, how do you say, in America, in Europe, it's really strange because we are not close and we are not practically with the virus, for us was practically the first time since the war that we have a virus around and we had to protect ourselves. Because never happened since 100, not 100, but almost 100 years. So for us, it's really shocking. Now you say, what's happened now? Because you see people with masks around. You can see usually people with masks around in Japan, in Asia in general. So for us, it's more shocking that in Asia, it's more normal to have, relation with protect herself. Social distances, and for us was really like, oh my God, what's happened? That's why now for us it's really curious to go outside and see people with masks because it never happened in the history of yesterday we went outside the island. We took the boat and we were in the ground to buy food and stuff. It was the first time that we went to the ground from 2 months, and it was really strange because you see the Italian people like with the nose outside the mask, with the mask here speaking and say, no, you have to wear it like this, if not there's no way. So I think that of course things will change, of course, but I think that even after the war, even after really shocking things for humanity, everything try naturally to turn back to normality in a way. No, it's a historical curve. No, you know, everything, every human tried to be back as was before, but in a different way. Because I think that we had the chance to, for example, in Italy, we was really late with home smart working, the work made by phone or by conference. We was really late. In France too, really conservative. No, we have to do a meeting, so we have to take the plane, we have to take the train and meet together to work in something. Now we learn that we can do without. So basically, it's really fast, the process, that I can say, for example, I can do half of my job from my house in the middle of nowhere. I don't have to live in a big city all the year. You know, I can move in a different way. So that's gonna change something, of course. And I think that one of the most important things that gonna be changed in the next few months, in the next few years, I don't know, is that traveling is becoming more difficult and slower. So basically, we have to take value and take and make important things that we have in our local reality. I think that's something that will change a lot. So 3 months ago, in January, I could take the plane and do the tour of the world in 1 week. Now, probably for the next month, probably for the next years, we don't know, probably everything will be more expensive and more difficult to approach. So basically, we have to realize that we have to travel in a different way. And today, today, the big changes of young generation and culture in general is telephone, social media, telephone, and travel. So those two things change because we give more attention to social media, more and more, because on this moment, if we don't have social media, we can't have this conversation, for example. So thanks God, we have this opportunity. But we have to travel in a different way, probably less, you know? So I think that people will start to buy, if we think about a commercial vision, so they start to buy and do shopping in our own city, no more shopping tourism, you know? So I think less shopping tourists. I think that for example, if I have to imagine the next future, the close future, I have to think that, for example, Japanese store are made for Japanese people, not for Chinese, Korean, or Asian people in general that travel and buy things around. We have to restart this. For example, if we have to imagine a store in Beijing, for example, we have to think people from the Beijing and people from China in general. If we have to think about a store in Paris, it's the same thing. So we have to think about French people that go to this store to do shopping. You understand what I mean? Now it's a different point.
We are becoming more local oriented.
I think that, of course, fashion will remain global, because from here I have to think about all the world, all people of the world as usual. But I think that the customer will travel less. So basically, e-commerce, because e-commerce is gonna be like really increasing, because you can buy more and more from your home, from where you are. You don't need to move. But at the same time, I think that local, and that's why architecture is going to be important, because architecture is going to be the next step, you know. So basically we need, as 20 years ago, to have beautiful store, beautiful building in every cities, because people will move less in a way. Of course, I think in the next future, people will move less. So we have to take care about reality in local reality, which is really important. And if we cannot construct, we have to look around, see what we have, and rebuild and restore and give important things that we already have, which is beautiful in a way. It's another that's something that will change, I'm sure. Of course, people in general will have the sense of buying, to do shopping. I think that's not changing. It means that people, for example, me, I'm not a compulsive shopping people, but now that I'm locking down, I say, now I want to go out and buy something, you know, because so I think that that will be a reaction of the lockdown, that people will start to buy again, but differently, you know.
That sounds like a very good opportunity to revitalize the heritage of local culture.
Yes, of course. We do meeting about the heritage and about the consolidation of what we have. We are lucky at Vivier that we have a good heritage, and our things are more carryover than newness. So every time I imagine a newness, we try to take this newness a carryover, you know, something that will stay in the store. Yeah, because it's well done, because it's expensive, because it takes time and energy to do it. So we try to take care about the object that we do, which is good.
How about you, Yulia? Are there anything that you want to do differently after the COVID, in the post-COVID world?
Yeah, but I'm sure the world is gonna change. As I said, like we know like what we really need and what we really have to do. So
But in a way, but you know,
I think Yulia, I think
for both of
priority will
Rado and
change.
Yulia, like your approach to creation or your value was already kind of ready for a post-COVID-19.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why I say that I feel lucky.
Kind of feel like, you know, the value that you always had, like it's now bears the additional meaning. And I think the way that you guys like you deal with things and the way you guys do your things, I think this will remain basically the same. And the world is catching up.
思ったのは本当にゲラルドが言った通り、そのちょっとなんかローカルなって言ったけど、ローカルっていうより私はなんかちょっとコミュニティみたいなものがなんかすごい大事だなと思って。
Yulia is saying like you know, you mentioned local, but she uses a different term. She calls it the community.
Yes. That's the meaning. It's community, no?
ことを共有できる人たちでこう集まってっていうのがなんかすごくもっと活発化していきそうだなって思ってて、なんかこういう試みももちろんだし、なんかだからなんかまあ細分化はされていくと思うけど、なんかすごい逆に面白い動きがいろいろ出てきそう。
The world will probably be a bit fragmented, into the different values, the different communities, and of people sharing the same value. So like here today, like we are probably here today together because we share the same kind of value, but that's the direction where Yulia thinks the world will be going.
Yeah, I'm totally agree that now with this Code V, for example, we had a bombing of information, for example, on Instagram and social media in general, but I feel, for example, more selective now. I just look what is part of my community more than ever, you know? So, because you need to feel close to someone that is like you know, which is really beautiful. Because, but I think it's, if you imagine a list of priority, no? If you put priority in vertical, before Code V, there was something here and something here. Probably now, something that was here jumped here, and something that was here jumped here. So it's the list of priority of people that change. That's something that will change. The priority of things. So what you really need, you give another priority after the Code V, I think.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, I really enjoyed this conversation. You know, I would very much like to this again sometime, maybe in real, meeting in real. But our time is up. So if there are any closing comments that you would like to make, brief one, I would like to take it and then close. Yulia has to do DJ very soon. So.
Yes, you DJ.
I will follow the DJ. I'm gonna wait for a house song.
Yeah. But like I really hope to see you really soon as a
I think my first trip after Code V will be Japan.
Yes. And let's do a get together for real.
Yes.
And amazing.
But you know what, Yulia, now when we travel, we need more time. We cannot travel so fast. So I have to stay there more than 3 days, 1 week. I have to stay more. So we're going to have more time to do what our business, not Atsuko business, our business.
Okay, Gerardo, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu.
For Yulia's DJ.
Bye. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao. Baci.
Baci.